Welcome back to episode 3 of my Wednesday Wonders, and this week I'm seeing the contrast difference between developing temperatures as requested by Film Love Photography. So I'm setting up a real simple scene here and I'm going to be taking photographs of this shell. I'm going to be using one LED panel as my light source and a diffuser just to soften the light. Using the shell for this experiment is ideal. It has a highlight area here on the top graduating to a darker area, and of course we have some shadows going on as well. But I do need to use a tiny bit of fill if I'm going to compensate my exposure so I don't blow out the highlights. So I'm just going to use this white piece of card to fill in those darker areas, still giving me this nice soft light wrapping around the shell. I'm using hot glue to stick stuff in place, and I've also hot glued the shell into position. I also hot glued my wife's Buddha that I dropped a while back, and then I thought it'd be fun to glue a peg to my wife's shoe, as well as gluing a nozzle on her deodorant spray. The film I'm using is Kentmere's 400 speed film, and the camera of choice is my Nikon F90X, as it's got a macro lens where I can get nice and close. Next up is metering the scene. If I point the meter towards the camera and take a reading, the meter will give me an average of the whole scene, not realising that the top of the shell nearest the light source is white. So instead I point the Lumisphere towards the light source. You can see it's giving me 1/15th of a second at f11. If I'd shot this at f8 when the meter was pointed towards the camera, my highlights would have blown out. There is no rule to incident metering as to where you place the Lumisphere. Each scene and subject are different, and it's up to you as the photographer to get the best from it. So I'll get my composition sorted and start to take my photographs, all 36 of them. I'm using the camera's timer as I don't have a release cable for this camera, and my shutter is quite slow at 1/15th of a second, so I don't want to jog the camera. So that's it. It took quite a bit of time to set up, if I must be honest, and the first couple of shots I left the light on inside the room and I thought, oh bugger, but it don't matter because I burst the whole roll exactly on the same scene, the same image, same photograph for what, 36 shots. So I'm going to have to cut this film into 3 strips, and I'm going to have 3 developing tanks. I'm going to develop in Rodinal, which is going to be at 1 part to 50. Why Rodinal? Because it's 1 part to 50, you know. And I've got a whole litre of the stuff. So for this experiment, I'm going to use Rodinal, and I'm not going to be wasting too much developer on this video. So I'm going to be using Rodinal 1 part to 50. I think that was 11.5 minutes. I can't remember now. Don't quote me on that. I'll tell you when I get into the developing, which is going to be tomorrow, which is Wednesday, and then hopefully I'll get this video out Wednesday evening for you guys to see. So I'm all set up, ready to go. I'm in my kitchen and I've got my film cut into 3 separate parts. I've got 10 degrees, 20 degrees and 30 degrees. The main bulk of the film is inside the normal development, which is 20 degrees. And I've got my separate jugs as well. This one's 10 degrees, I've labelled them 20 and 30. I've got my thermometer, I've got my timer, I've got my fix, I've got my stop, I've got my Rodinal over there. So all I've got to do is get my Rodinal inside this big ass fat jug here and then pour 400ml into each one at the right temperature. And this Rodinal is going to be at 1 part to 50. And I said 11 minutes, yeah, that was wrong, wasn't it? It's 20 minutes, 1 part to 50, so it's going to take me a bit of while. So this one's at 30 degrees, just slightly, very slightly over. That's going to give me a little bit of room for manoeuvre. It's just normal room temperature in my kitchen. This one is my normal temperature, so you can see it's just a very smidge over 20. So again, with room temperature, after 5 or so minutes, that's going to drop down to about 20, same as the 30 degree one. So that's my normal development, and this is supposed to be the 10 degree development. You can see I've had to try and get it underneath 15 at least, so it's probably just a little bit over 10, but it's cold enough for what we're trying to do. Right, take the lids off. We're all ready to go. In goes the 30. I'll let it sit there for a moment until I've done it all. In goes the 20. And in goes the 10 degree or thereabouts. Put the lids back on, start the clock, and then I'll agitate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll do the same again on the minute every minute. Now obviously that's not the ideal way of equaling these, but I'm not going to sit here for 60 minutes, so I'm just going to do this in the 120 minute and see what we get. Right, so here's my negatives. So this is the 10 degrees, this one's the 20, and this one's the 30. And of course you're going to expect some difference. This one at 10 degrees seems to be a lot flatter, a lot less contrast. And also the base of the film as well, the base in the fog, you can see on the edge here. I'm not touching this, guys, screwdriver, but don't scream because I've got a screwdriver near the NEGS. The base here is a little bit foggier than the other two. I can't see much difference between the base between the 20 and the 30. Obviously in the NEGS you've got, this is normal development here, and this is a higher temperature at 30 degrees. You can see the highlights are a bit more blown out. The only way to really see is to make a contact sheet. So I'm going to base my contact sheet with tests on the 20 degrees negatives, and then whatever the 10 and the 30 do is up to them. But at least I know I've done my part right by making a contact print on the correct temperature negative. So this is my contact print that I've just made. There's the 10 degrees development. That's normal at 20, and there's 30. So straight away you can see the difference. 30 has really boosted our highlights more, and I wouldn't say even made it more punchy. I don't know, the shadow looks lighter than this shadow. But regardless, a higher temperature has definitely washed out our highlights. That's a normal temperature. I'm glad I got that meters right. You can see I've got detail in the top of the shell and all around it really. Apart from a bloody scratch there, look at that. There's a little tiny scratch on the NEGS, so I'm glad I shot the whole roll on. I'm glad I shot the whole roll on it. But I'm going to go ahead and make a print of this one here of my normal development and see how that shell looks and the lighting and everything else that I did on larger paper. So when I looked at the negatives, lucky enough it wasn't a scratch. That must have come off of the squeegee when I squeegeed that contact print off. So I was quite pleased about that. But these are the two tests that I've made so far. This was the original test strip of 3 seconds, so 3-second increments all the way along. So I ended up looking at the highlight first, this area, the top of the shell, and I ended up with 12 seconds. So that's 12 seconds overall with the contrast 2.5 filter. And the enlarger set at 5.6. So I'm quite happy with that. Let's make a bigger print and see if it looks all right. Well, it's come out really nice. It's come out better than I expected, to be honest with you. I've got a couple of little dust spots on the negative. I'll have to look at that before I make a reprint. One there, just a couple here. I mean, one or two I don't really mind, but I'll try and fix that if I can. But I just feel like it's just lacking a bit of detail, but not detail, a bit of contrast. So I'm just going to I'm going to do the same print again, clean the neg first. And this time I'm just going to dodge very slightly this area here just to try and boost that a little tiny bit brighter. I'll probably lose detail, but I think it will work. And then a little contrast 5 filter just to boost down here in the shell area where it's dark. All the shadow and that's worked out quite well. The background that I used, I quite like that. It's got some kind of mottled effect going on, so it looks quite nice. I just need to tweak it a little tiny bit. So this is the final print here, and it's just hanging out to dry after being washed and then selenium toned and washed again. And I've managed to get those dust marks off of the negative just using the rocket blower and just carefully cleaning the neg. Managed to get it all off, so there's no marks on there at all now, so I'm well happy. Got detail going on the top of the shell, managed to pull out a little tiny bit more contrast in between the spiral area, so it kind of just pops a little bit. So yeah, good job, I'm happy with that one. So after all that messing about with the hot glue and trying to light that shell, I managed to get in the darkroom and make a really nice print. I'm going to be putting the print that I've made on eBay. I'm also going to be sticking the original negative that I used for that print and 2 other negatives as well. One from the 10 degree and the other one from the 30 degree. So if anyone out there want to auction on eBay for the negatives and the print that I've made in this darkroom this evening to support the channel, then jump on there. I'll put a link in the description. So as for a Wednesday Wonder and FilmLab Photography asking me to try out 3 different temperatures in developing, I did. I used Rodinal, Kentmere 400, one at 10 degree, one at 20 degree and one at 30 degree. And I must admit, I was surprised at the 10 degree. I knew it would be lack of contrast, but it's actually manageable on the enlarger if I wanted to make a print. I decided not to make a print. I've spent too long in here anyway at the moment. But I decided not to make a print, but I still made the contact print where I can see the difference between all 3. But saying that, it's all experimental, and I wouldn't recommend just ignoring your temperatures and your development times. Always try and keep to the book or keep to what works best for you. Don't sit there and say, oh, shoot film like a boss said 15 degrees is okay. A little bit of lack of contrast, I can handle that and go on with it. You might not be as lucky as I was in the darkroom with these negs, but I wouldn't want to tempt fate. I'd always go by the book and do what it says, or develop the way that I know best for a certain subject, developer and film. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you've got anything for me for next week's episode, let us know in the comments. If you wondered about anything in film photography or darkroom printing, let us know. I've got plenty more comments to work with at the moment from you guys that have been kindly sending me stuff, so we'll get on with those in the future. Anyway, have a good evening. I'll catch you next time. If you're into film photography and you want to help support the channel, then why not consider becoming a Patreon or join me on the YouTube community members area where I upload various content on a weekly basis. Your support will also be helping me grow the channel and continue making videos. I hope to see you there.